Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans of all ages, or sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm ElliJare, and this is what everybody's talking about. First off, I think everybody's talking about how awesome this No Shave Man Cave situation has been of late. And I got to tell you, I wholeheartedly appreciate all of those 5 stars and the follows. I'm on behalf of JT, totally humbled and just enamored with everything that we got going on. So thank you so much to Acast. Thank you to all of our followers hitting us. So keep doing what you're doing, and if you like what you're hearing, hit us with a follow on Twitter. Swing on over to YouTube and hit us with the sub. And if you want us to drop you a shout out, we will absolutely do that, because we wouldn't, I mean, we'd still be talking about wrestling, but we wouldn't be getting the following and the shout outs that we have been getting. So the New York City Podcast Network once again chose JT and I as a staff favorite, and that is bonkers. They grabbed our bourbon episode. They've grabbed a AEW episode. They liked our pilot episode. Um, hey, everybody's talking about it, so let's be about it, right? So if you like it, subscribe. Come grab us wherever you're grabbing us. We're on every venue where you can grab podcasts. So iHeart, Stitcher, we recently just joined speaker.com along with my man over there at the WWE podcast. There's his artwork, which I think is super entertaining. It's a very interesting podcast, to the point where I get upset because of his ideas. So I'm going to say that's what we're talking about. So the WWE podcast, if you like uh, listening to wrestling and getting a different perspective. So JT and I, we look at wrestling completely different, but we're still fans. So I mean, that's what we're down with, and that's you know, I've got my WWE brain. I'm a fan of what the title looks like, and he is really down with the indie scene. He loves some New Japan. He's probably, fair to say, he's a super fan for AEW, and I'm down with him. I'm not against it, but hey, so that's what everybody's talking about. Also, what is everybody talking about? WrestleMania is right around the corner, and April 1st and 2nd, coming to you from SoFi Stadium. And as we get ever so close, you can just feel the anticipation of what is going to happen at WrestleMania as the card starts to take shape. And we'll talk more about what the card is going to look like in future episodes. I don't want to spoil anything. I do have a couple of breaking news. Shocker, the main event for WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Ooh, you don't freaking say. I am so yacked for that. And I'm interested on the match, how the story's going to go, and how many false finishes are we going to get. And then as Cody starts to build up and he's fighting from underneath, and that crowd is going to freaking boil over, and you'll probably see your fair share of shenanigans. But I tell you what, all everybody's gonna be talking about afterwards is, after the match is done and the crowd is just off the hook, and when you hear the winner of the match and new undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Champion, the American Nightmare. Oh man, it is gonna be bonkers. Then what do they do? That's what I'm super interested in. And the talk is over on the WWE podcast is that Cody's not leaving with the world title. Hit the brakes. That Negahatchee. That is not going to happen because Cody's leaving with the world title. I believe, push the I believe button. I believe that Cody is going to leave your new undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Champion. I believe that Rhea Ripley is going to leave your SmackDown champion. I believe Asuka will leave your Raw Women's champion. You'll have the only so let's go. Let's stop. I believe that you will see every title minus the United States title change hands because like where's the money in John Cena carrying the United States title unless you're going to come out with a brand new one. Kind of what they did with The Rock when they unveiled that new the new version, pretty much just showing the logo. So there it is. Hey, we're talking about it. We got to be about it. We're boiling over every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We're seeing WWE programming. We're hopping on the bump. We're watching Talking Smack, Talking Raw. We're living and breathing on the old Twitter machine. Shout out to Shotzi. She is all about LA Night. Yeah. And me too, because I believe, again, I'm going to push the I believe button. Let's talk about that. LA Knight is going to be your man in 2023. He's got to be. He's so over when he walks out and he just points and the crowd says LA Knight. And he doesn't even have to say, let me talk to you. And they go, yeah. It's just, it's awesome. And a huge fan. I've liked him for a long while. And I wouldn't be upset to see him strapped up carrying that title. Him against Austin Theory, them talking smack on the mic, going back and forth. I think Eli or L.A. Knight, yeah, would eviscerate the young Padawan, and I think it would be awesome. I'm trying to figure out how to get him on the card, so let's talk about that. So I don't want to see him get buried too much more, but you're going to see it. And that Monday night after WrestleMania, whew, that Monday night Raw after WrestleMania, that Friday night SmackDown after WrestleMania, whew, talk to me. What are we going to see? We're going to see, Austin Theory's going to come out. Is he going to open the show? I don't think so. Is he going to interrupt Cody when he comes out with both titles? Maybe, but I think Cody will get his stuff in and the crowd is going to be boiling. So, yeah, I'm all about it. But what else are we talking about throughout the wrestling world? We recently had some new updates with some injuries. It looks like Roxy Roseanne Perez is going to be taking a little bit of time off. Good for her. She doesn't have a medical issue or an injury, but she has something that she's got to take care of that's going to require her to take a little bit of time off. So good on her. Game recognizes game, and I think she's earned a little bit of a break. So uh, cut her some slack and be proud of what she's achieved, and I'll be down. Also, like what we were talking about is you have the AEW International Championship, and I dig it. I liked the All Atlantic title. Reminds me of some other titles from back in the day when you had the Tri City. You had a couple other titles that would later get morphed. The Central States title was super beautiful, but this international title just fantastic and freshly squeezed as rocking that thing. And he's he's really got a great presence. And I'm when he does the thing where he puts his hands in his pockets and stuff, I love that. So let's hope he keeps doing it. So with the AEW is doing house shows now. Um, One thing that is not changing is freaking John Moxley bleeding all over the place at a house show in Troy, Ohio. He was bleeding, and yeah, what are you gonna do? They wrestled against Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. Great, like Lee Moriarty is super athletic, very very cool. I dig that black mask that he comes out in. He doesn't wrestle in it, but I dig it. So, um, but yeah, so he was bleeding all over the place. And again, I'm not a huge fan of blood, but if there's a reason for it, if it makes sense within the story, good, good on them. So, also some other stuff that we're talking about, dude, and dudettes. Did you see Cameron freaking stinking Grimes, his new uh his new profile pic? My man, it must be on the same Joe Rogan diet where he just the caveman carnivore, eat, sleep, work out, and smash it. So good on Cameron Grimes. I'm gonna have to see what he's got going on because I need a little bit of work. You know what I mean? So Charlotte Flair dropping some knowledge where she would like to be on screen with hubby. And talk about a power couple. To get him back in the fold at WWE would be significant. Obviously, he's under contract for a little bit longer, and we'll see what comes of that. So, um, Mercedes Monet was on a couple of different interviews that really got a lot of people talking, and her big thing was, listen, not everyone knows the whole entire story of why she left. Okay, fine. I don't like, as a fan, I don't even necessarily think we deserve to know every bit of every detail, because there's the professional side of it that I'm a big fan of, the suspended belief. And you know, you're sitting there watching, and even when a move gets, and I don't like the word botched, but when a move gets messed up, they're human. They're flying around the ring going 25 miles an hour, and they leave the ground, and gravity is going to do what gravity is going to do, and something gets messed up. Hey, as Scott Hall would say, hey yo, give them some slack. Let them do what they're gonna do. Sit back. If you're gonna have a couple of daddy sodas, like LaGreca One over there at Busted Open likes to say, have a daddy soda. Lock it up. You don't need to give them any grief. Me, I'm gonna sit back with a little old fashioned, maybe a Manhattan, little sippy sip, and I'm just gonna be quiet. As long as I can see and people in front of me aren't standing up, I'm not going to stand up. I'm not going to be upset about signs either. And I think it's all part of the show. And AEW is a rock show, and WWE, unless they're in Canada, it's it's just shy of a Broadway show. And if we could somehow tweak it a little bit to where they're not they're not sitting on their feet or sitting on their hands, and they're on their feet, and getting into it and all that. And I say on their feet, but I just mean cheering and uber excited. And you listen to the crowds in just about every other wrestling show. New Japan, when they're stateside, and to a certain extent now, New Japan, they're allowing at their at the Japanese shows. They're starting to allow cheering, whereas before they weren't. So, um, yeah, man, I am super super excited. So there's that. Also, can we talk about A&E's series with the Legends, the Legend biography, and the Rivals? So I've watched seasons 1 and 2 of the Legends, and I caught season 3, episode 1 of the WCW/NWO, and man, I thought I knew like 90%, like what I thought fans deserved to know, and there was some knowledge dropped. And obviously, Eric Bischoff isn't going to tell us everything because he wants us to tune into his 83 weeks and all that other stuff. But um, yeah, so really, really good show. I wholeheartedly recommend you dropping that on your um, on demand or recording it, getting it ready to go because it is freaking stinking awesome. MLW, they are really starting to gain some momentum. Again, we talked about this not that long ago where they were working on their TV deal, and that fell apart because of the exclusivity contract writing exclusivity writing in the WWE's contracts, right? So they've got streaming with Peacock. They are on USA. They're on Fox. Um, and when MLW was about to sign a deal, that sort of upset the apple cart. Upset it. Jeez. Um, so it undid what MLW was getting ready to do with their TV deal. And you're like, come on, man, we got, there's enough to go around. On honestly, I think there's enough to go around, but that's not on me. Also, for some of your cons that you're getting ready to attend, the WrestleCons, Comic Cons, Koi Cons, whatever, more and more names are being added to some of these shows, and I am jacked about it. And I'm super excited. We're going to be, JT and I are going to be in Jacksonville for the WrestleCon, the River City show in June. That is going to be off the hook. Super excited. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. I was hoping to see Sergeant Slaughter to get him to wear the America's Championship, but we'll work on that later there, Sarge. But no, so everybody's talking about it. Hey, as they come to your town, they come to your city, drop, you know, budget a little bit of time on a Saturday or Sunday. You don't have to go and get the VIP package and all that, although it does improve the uh, fan experience a little bit because you get in a little bit early. You've got some access to different stuff. You can see the vendors a little bit earlier while they've got their stuff out. And if there's something specific that you want to get a hold of now, if you're going to sign up for some of these autograph events, make sure you check the time too. So don't don't be surprised if your 10 o'clock autograph session is at noon because they're legends. They're going to show up when they show up. But I tell you, everybody's talking about every single day someone else is getting added. Um, so just recently, Danhausen was added to the Lexington show and a couple others. Thunder Rosa is going to be added to a couple of shows. You're going to see Daniel Bryan is going to be showing up to a couple of shows. Mercedes Monet was added to a couple of shows. So good on them for really getting out with the people and meeting and greeting and doing that whole thing. So, what else are we talking about? We are talking about free agents in professional wrestling. We are talking about wrestlers and their contracts getting ready to come up, come due. Did they or did they not sign new contracts? Did FTR sign a new contract? That's a good question to go, are we talking about it? Hell yeah, we're talking about it. We want to know, are we going to see a Triple H FTR reunion? Mm, I'm going to say no, but I'm not in the know as much as I wish I was. But I think there's a good chance that FTR is going to be staying with AEW for the long term. Jay White, where's Jay White getting ready to show up at? When you've got Juice Robinson showing up at an AEW show referencing the Bullet Club, and Starks is popping off with, yeah, that would have been cool if it was 2015. Um, is that a telltale sign that Jay White is coming? Maybe, maybe not. Now, what JT was talking about was, you know, absence does sort of make the heart grow fonder, but at the same time, every day you're off TV, more and more people are slowly starting to forget about you. So, if I were Jay White, I would now do what you're going to do because it's your business and it's, your livelihood and everything. And truth be told, I think he's going to land on his feet and he's going to be okay. But, you know, WWE isn't the mountain that, you know, it used to be. It isn't the mountain that everybody's got to climb and you only achieved, you know, um, stardom, if you will, once you arrived in WWE because, with the TV deals and AEW not being exclusive and would still allow you to do all this great stuff. Look at Taya Valkyrie. She did do the right thing. She dropped her Impact title, her tag team title, but she's still the MLW um, middleweight women's champion. So, I mean, she can still do that. She's also very, very, very active in Mexico with AAA, and I don't quote me on this one, but CMLL, I believe she does some work with them, but AAA definitely, I know that for a fact. So, Jay White comes to AEW and he can still, compete with the New Japan folks unless he wants a complete clean break. And, does he want to spend all of his time in the United States, or does he still want to be able to travel, kind of like what he was doing with New Japan? So that's something that we need to keep talking about to figure out exactly where my man is going to land, because I think it is going to be fantastic when he shows up. So um, yeah, no, I'm super super excited for what we're gonna see with that. So good on Cameron Grimes, good on Jay White for being patient, uh, Cameron Grimes for getting in fantastic shape. Funny thing that was recently just talked about is Undertaker believes that kayfabe is dead. 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 The dead man saying that kayfabe is dead. Okay, cool. For him, it's dead because as soon as he retired and the Undertaker character was no more, and he showed up as Mark Calloway and the American Badass. Yeah, I totally. It may or may not been the right thing, but there's some characters that are still living the character. You've got MJF giving the old "fu" on his birthday, which really classing the place up. Thanks, MJF. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, some of the other stuff everybody's talking about, does there is not one single perfect NCAA bracket card. Unbelievable. My son was touting on being in first and second and all this other stuff, and that talk quickly went away when all these number ones kept dropping, and it's it's going to be interesting to see how who is going to come out the NCAA world, NCAA champion. It's not can't You're not going to see a repeat because I think Kansas is out of it now too. So quick shout out to Bill Self. Hope everything is okay. He's not coaching the tournament. So hopefully you're doing all right and you're taking care of what needs to get taken care of. So good on you. So also some of the newest podcasts that are out there, thanks to the New York City Podcast Network. There's one called the Podfluence. Really cool logo, good colors. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting one, and I'm going to be following it, grabbing it. And being a retired Marine and working in the business line that I'm in, there's a difference between leading and managing. So there's another podcast that just popped up called Authentic Leadership for Everyday People, and I am going to be listening to that once or twice a week at least, kind of give me a different, fresh perspective on it, and really digging it. So thanks to podcast or the New York City Podcast Network for coming out with some really really good podcasts and making some really good material and stuff that's entertaining. Also, can we talk about how entertaining Nyla Rose is? Her most recent her most recent tweet that came out was with the Bewitched shooting out the good vibes. So good for her, and thanks to her for being positive out there. Who else is jacked about AEW Dynamite? John Moxley against Stu Grayson. Yes, please. I'll take two, and I think that is going to be ridiculous and super fun. So he's gonna be getting after it in short order. Very very cool. The again the Queen Charlotte Flair talking about how she wants to be on TV with Andrade. I think that's super interesting. There's some new talk about FTR's status and what they're going to be doing coming up in the near future. I think they've signed a long-term deal, and they're going to be in a good place. I think they're going to get pushed to the top of the card, and some of the talk has been their deal is up soon, but you know, who knows at this point? And I hope whatever they decide to do, I hope they're happy. So some of the other stuff that we're talking about, we have some characters in wrestling that have kind of grown tired. And it wasn't that long ago that the guys over at What Culture were talking about we have a Jericho problem. And it's very systematic how he reinvents himself. He'll pop back up, and you're like, oh man, he's fresh as fresh can be. And I think it's time for him to go away, let the JAS ride off into the sunset, and see what other kind of trouble that we can get into. Also, another thing that we're talking about is we've got to get something new for Edge. Edge and the Judgment Day has been done and is super super tired. So quick update, we're going to be talking about this for a little bit. The Best Friends Chuck Taylor recently underwent some emergency dental surgery. Hope he's doing all right and getting better soon. Woof, busted up some of his chiclets, and can't wait to see him back in the ring. So also, can we talk about how fantastic Valkyrie looked? My word, Taya looked fantastic. The Gates of Valhalla move was tight, and Jade is using a very similar move, and she is very very strong. So, if you're seeing some nuances or differences with that, there's a good chance because of the strength difference. So, um, hey, both are going to be fantastic for years to come. Can't wait to see those two lock up here in short order. And what is going to happen with this Outcast and Originals? Would this not be awesome to add Taya and Jade to this storyline and to see them in a blood and guts match? Huh? Huh? I would talk about that for a long time. I think that would be fantastic. So, also, woo, super excited. Dustin Reynolds was Dustin was recently added to some of the WrestleCons. He's going to be coming to the one that I'm going to be at River City. So super excited. We're also going to see Lex Luger. Haven't seen him in person in a long time, so good deal. And thank you for the update. Thanks for joining us here in short order. So that is going to be fantastic. Maybe get him to sign a couple of shirts that I just grabbed. His new T-shirt, and if you haven't seen his 9 line gear, it's pretty cool. Undertaker just signed a deal, so um, nice. But hey, so listen, I've been running my suck for quite a while. I really appreciate everybody's support and love to the New York City Podcast Network. Thank you so much for all of the love. The it's been fantastic. And wherever you're getting your podcasts, keep doing what you're doing. Come check us out here on YouTube as often as possible, and like, subscribe, and let us know what you think. So be safe, look out for yourselves, look out for one another, and I'll see you on the floor.